Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Front Page, where AI leaps, industrial moves, and science breakthroughs meet. A model that resets the field, a theory that may redefine learning, a state attracting record investments, and India building quantum from the ground up. It's all happening tonight. Here are the headlines. Anthropic has launched Claude Opus 4.5, a frontier model that outperforms every human engineer tested, surpasses GPT-5.1 Codex Max and Gemini 3 on real software engineering benchmarks, delivers 65 to 76% efficiency gains, introduces infinite chat, and triggers the biggest price drop in frontier AI, marking the clearest reset in the AI race since GPT-4. Forget Gemini 3. Google unveiled nested learning, which many researchers are calling Attention is All You Need Part 2, a breakthrough theory claiming that optimizers, layers, and memory are all nested learners, enabling AI models like Hope to update themselves during inference, a potential shift from static LLMs to adaptive, brain-like intelligence. At TN Rising 2025, Tamil Nadu locked 158 MoUs worth 43,844 crore rupees, spanning electronics, aerospace, defense, auto electronics, data centers, healthcare, and GCCs, marking Coimbatore's biggest ever investment wave and positioning the Western industrial hub as a high-tech manufacturing and digital infrastructure powerhouse in South India. India has approved a 720 crore rupees Quantum Fabrication and Central Facility at IIT Bombay under the National Quantum Mission, laying the country's first full-stack quantum hardware foundation, from materials and processors to sensors and communication systems, marking a decisive shift from importing quantum capabilities to building an indigenous, scalable ecosystem of global standards, founded by two 25-year-olds. IIT Kharagpur grads Giga beat every global AI competitor to power DoorDash's massive support engine, proving its emotionally intelligent agent stack can handle millions of real-time interactions, a breakthrough that even drew public praise from Nara Lokesh for showcasing India's rising deep tech leadership. Tonight, the AI race just flipped because Anthropic has dropped Claude Opus 4.5, and the industry is saying one thing: this is the biggest jump Anthropic has ever made, and it crushes Gemini 3, Codex Max, and even human engineers in key tasks. This is Front Page by AIM Network. Like, share, subscribe, and stay updated, because the next breakthrough like this one will drop only on Front Page. So now, if we are ready for the Claude Opus breakdown, here it is. For the last 10 days, Google has dominated headlines with Gemini 3, faster training, TPU dominance, and the Google is invincible again narrative. Even the creator of PyTorch, Somit Chintala, said the Gemini 3 moment feels closer to GPT-4 than anything we've seen. Google looks invulnerable right now. End quote. Well, not anymore, because Claude Opus 4.5 is finally here, and it's the first model this year that genuinely punches upward and above its weight. It beat every human engineer Anthropic has ever tested. Claude took Anthropic's hardest 2-hour engineering exam, the same one used to hire performance engineers. The result? Opus 4.5 scored higher than every human candidate ever. This raises the biggest question of the year. If AI beats humans in engineering tests, what happens to engineering itself? Well, till we mull over that, Claude 4.5 crushed every major model on real software engineering tasks on SWE Bench Verified, the gold standard for realistic coding tasks. Claude Opus 4.5, 80.9%. GPT 5.1 Codex Max, 77.9%. Gemini 3 Pro, 76.2%. Sonnet 4.5, 77.2%. So, this is basically fixing real code bases, multi-file bugs, dependency reasoning, things only senior engineers used to do. It's actually 65 to 76% more efficient, and this is the sleeper headline. At medium effort, Opus 4.5 achieves Sonnet 4.5's best scores using 76% fewer output tokens. So at high effort, it beats Sonnet with 48% fewer tokens. The translation? Better than Gemini 3 and GPT 5.1 at almost one-third the cost. Anthropic just broke the frontier models are too expensive barrier. Claude now has infinite chat, context windows. Well, gone. Claude automatically compacts, summarizes, and manages memory, giving users essentially unlimited conversation length. This is a direct punch at GPT 5.1 and Gemini 3, whose context limits still break at scale. The agents can now self-improve. Honestly, this is actually quite wild. Rakuten, one of the early testers, saw something new. Claude agents refine their own skills, learn from past attempts, hit peak performance in just 4 iterations, while other models failed even after 10. Not weight updates, but strategic self-improvement. This is the closest we've come to agents that learn their own workflows, not just tools. So the real story, and why does this matter so much? Well, this launch is bigger than a benchmark victory. It shows 3 strategic shifts. Shift 1. The AI race is no longer about raw IQ. It's actually about work IQ. Claude 4.5 performs. 30-minute autonomous coding, multi-agent orchestration, Excel automation, browser workflows, slide, plus doc generation. This is basically a junior engineer, a project planner, a researcher, and an analyst in one model. Shift number 2. Anthropic is pulling ahead on alignment and reliability. Claude 4.5 showed the best robustness against advanced prompt injection attacks in the entire industry. This matters because enterprise adoption depends on trust banks, healthcare. Aviation rely on predictable models. Safety and stability now differentiate winners. Anthropic is betting on trust-first enterprise AI, and Opus 4.5 proves the thesis. And now, shift number 3. Pricing war begins, and Anthropic just escalated it. Opus used to be the premium model. Now it is $5 per million input tokens, $25 per million output tokens, compared to Opus 4.1's $15/$75 respectively. This is like, well, Anthropic declaring we are coming for enterprise dominance, which OpenAI has been quiet, struggling to crack for a while now. And finally, here is the front page take. Gemini 3 had the momentum. GPT-5 had the brand. Claude Opus 4.5 just walked in and rewrote the scoreboard. This model beats GPT 5.1. Codex Max beats Gemini 3 Pro, beats Sonnet 4.5, beats every human engineer Anthropic tested, undercuts everyone on price, introduces infinite chat, brings self-improving agents, slashes token costs, raises the bar for coding, enterprise, and alignment. And this is no longer a three-way fight. It's actually a four-axis war: performance, reliability, cost, automation power, and for the first time in months, Anthropic is the one forcing Google and OpenAI to respond. The AI race just actually reset itself. And honestly, take a step back for a second and let's view this from the macro level. Google drops Gemini 3, OpenAI panics and rents Google's TPUs and partners with Foxconn and Broadcom. Anthropic fires back with Opus 4.5, which is, well, cheaper, smarter, beating humans on coding tests. All of this in just a few days. So if you blink, did you right now? Good. You miss an entire generation of AI. The ecosystem is moving so fast, it feels unreal. Models upgrading every week, agents learning new skills, and companies racing like it's a billion-dollar sprint. So here's the real question. Are you keeping up? Because your friends, your team, your company, most of them have no idea how insane this space really is. And if you're watching this, you're already ahead of 99% of the world. Share this with your colleagues, founders, engineers, and anyone who needs to understand just how wild the AI race has really become. Tonight, we want to say that Anthropic might be leading with Claude Opus 4.5, but Google is not done yet. A few days ago, the tech giant quietly dropped a research paper that might define the next decade of AI, and almost nobody noticed. While the world was debating benchmarks, compute, and who's winning the AI race, Google Research published a paper called Nested Learning. And if you understand what this paper claims, you will realize something very simple. This is Attention is All You Need, Part 2, a foundational rewrite of how AI learns. Every LLM today, GPT, Gemini, Claude, and DeepSeek, suffers from the same defect. They can't learn continuously. They can use context, they can predict next tokens, they can perform reasoning, but they cannot update their own understanding without breaking what they already learned. And before we talk about the why, please hit like, share it ahead, and subscribe to AIM Network, because the next story that actually changes everything will show up right here first. And now, back to the why. LLMs forget new information. Fine-tuning destroys old skill models, don't grow after deployment, and every update costs millions of dollars. Humans don't work like this. We learn, consolidate, and retain simultaneously. AI can't. And that's the core breakthrough Google claims to solve. Google says deep learning has been based on the wrong assumption. Stacking more layers does not equal more intelligence, end quote. Nested learning paper, instead, they propose that every neural network, from transformers to RNNs, is actually a system of nested optimization problems, each with its own memory and update frequency. The meaning? A neural network isn't one model. It's actually a hierarchy of learners, all active at different timescales, just like the human brain. This pretty much changes everything, because if optimizers, layers, memory modules are all learning systems, then models can, well, in theory, learn during inference without catastrophic forgetting. That's the holy grail of AI. Optimizers like Adam equals memory systems. The paper says optimizers are associative memory modules that compress knowledge into the model itself, meaning your optimizer has been secretly learning all along. We just didn't treat it as a learner. So in context learning emerges naturally nested learning, which explains why large models suddenly gained in-context learning without being trained for it. It's actually a side effect of internal sub-learners running at different speeds. Deep learning and training are not separate. The paper argues architecture, training, memory are all the same system, just at different levels. That's exactly how human memory works. Fast learning, hippocampus. Slow learning, cortex. Multi-time scale consolidation. Nested learning mirrors this exact structure. To prove the idea, Google built a model called Hope, and it does two things no mainstream AI architecture can. It modifies its own parameters at test time, not fine-tuning, not adapters, not RL. The model learns from the data as you use it without forgetting old tasks. It has a continuum memory system instead of long-term versus short-term memory. Hope has memory layers that update at different speeds. The result? Well, Hope outperforms transformers and modern RNNs across multiple standard benchmarks with better long context memory, better continual learning, and better stability. This is the closest we've come to a self-improving AI architecture. So, what this means for the future? Here it is. This paper is Google saying scaling transformers will hit a ceiling. The next breakthrough won't come from bigger models, but smarter learners, end quote. If nested learning works at frontier scale, LLMs won't need retraining cycles. Models will keep improving during usage. AI assistants will learn you like a real human teacher. Memory fragmentation will vanish. Catastrophic forgetting becomes obsolete, and the entire compute economy changes because retraining becomes unnecessary. This is a shift from models that predict to models that learn, from static AI to dynamic AI. Of course, we'd love for you to tell us what you think in the comments below. Is nested learning the first real crack in the just scale it era, or just another cute optimization paper that looks great in theory but dies at production scale? So out there, you've got people calling this the start of the post-transformer era. Others joking, one more banger paper a day keeps my mental health away. Some saying this is how the brain really works. And a whole camp going, nice idea, call me when it runs at frontier scale. So the question is, where do you stand? Game changer, promising, but unproven deep learning remix, and nothing more maybe? Drop your take. Quote your favorite line. Roast it, defend it. You know what's interesting about Front Page? We're actually reading everything live. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, please share it with that friend who fills whiteboards with architectures, the researcher who swears they thought of this last weekend, or the engineer hacking LoRa's at 2 a.m. Because understanding ideas like this before they go mainstream is exactly how someone somewhere ends up building the next Chat GPT moment product. Tonight, Coimbatore is rewriting Tamil Nadu's investment map because at TN Rising 2025, the Tamil Nadu government is set to sign 158 MoUs worth 43,844 crore rupees, creating 1,709 new jobs, the highest ever commitment for the Coimbatore zone. And these aren't just generic MoUs. This is a precision engineered investment wave across electronics, defense, aerospace, auto electronics, data centers, and GCCs, the exact sectors driving India's next decade. At Front Page, we bring you these stories without PR filters, without paid placements, just independent journalism tracking India's tech, industry, and investment revolution in real time. So it's obvious. Please like, share, and subscribe. Takes a second for you. But you know what it does? It helps us keep this work alive and kicking. Summit after summit, city after city, number after number. Your support means a lot to the entire team at Front Page. And now, here are the headline investments being locked in. SCT Global Data Centers, 4,200 crore rupees, Chennai zone. 1,800 high-value digital infra jobs. Hyundai Via, 1,200 crore rupees. Johnson Electric, 1,300 crore rupees. Caliber Interconnect, Singapore, 3,000 crore rupees. TD Connects, Singapore, 1,057 crore rupees. Sandcraft Industries, 400 crore rupees. Telth Healthcare, 1,250 crore rupees. That alone adds up to about 12,400 plus crore rupees. But the biggest story is the cluster effect Coimbatore is building. Tamil Nadu will also sign major MoUs in aerospace, defense, drones, and small aircraft manufacturing. VAF Aero Systems, 510 crore rupees. Sakti Aircraft Industry, 500 crore rupees along with 1,200 jobs. Fovia Tech, 200 crore rupees. Drones. Minerva SPV, 51 crore rupees. Singularity Aerospace, 50 crore rupees. Countermeasures Technologies, 50 crore rupees. The message after all of this is quite clear. Coimbatore wants to be India's tier 2 aerospace capital. Tamil Nadu is doubling down on advanced electronics, a sector that will define India's $300 billion electronics vision. Caliber Interconnect, 3,000 crore rupees. Expansion TD Connects, 1,057 crore rupees. Sandcraft Industries, 400 crore rupees. So, expansion in mobile and telecom components, electronics manufacturing plus high-value design plus telecom supply chain equals Coimbatore becoming the West Zone's electronics nerve center. The SCT Global Data Centers, that is about 4,200 crore rupees investment alone, signals something very, very crucial. Tamil Nadu wants to become India's next hyperscale data hub after Mumbai and Hyderabad. And this is not a standalone signal. ELCOT has now floated tenders for a 17.17 acre IT park joint venture in Villanakurichi, Coimbatore, with strict development conditions. 5 lakh square feet minimum build out per plot, 5-year execution deadline, integrated IT, mixed use, convention and hospitality stack. This is, well, the infrastructure backbone required to attract GCCs, semiconductor design centers, cloud engineering labs, and AI research and development clusters. Local giants are stepping up too. Fabulous. CRI Pumps, 2,060 crore rupees along with 2,000 jobs. LMW Group, 1,050 crore rupees across aerospace, research and development, and electronics. Hatsun Agro, 860 crore rupees along with 400 jobs. This shows Coimbatore's industrial base is reinvesting into the future economy, not just traditional manufacturing. This is the third TN Rising Summit after Thoothukudi and Hosur. The purpose is quite clear. Push high-value investments into Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities so growth isn't Chennai-centric. Coimbatore's pitch this year focuses on this: advanced and auto electronics, aerospace and defense drones, and small aircraft digital infrastructure, data centers plus GCCs, healthcare, hospitality and education, precision manufacturing, research and development, and talent pipelines. In short, Coimbatore wants to be Tamil Nadu's future-ready industrial plus innovation plus services hub. All of this happens as Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka fight for AI, electronics, and data center investments. But today's numbers show Tamil Nadu is holding its ground without entering a race to the bottom incentive war. And with structured MoUs, tiered follow-ups and sector-led clustering, Tamil Nadu is betting on quality plus sustainability, not just headline in crores. So in conclusion, the front page take. Clearly, this is Tamil Nadu signaling Coimbatore is no longer a tier 2 city. It's actually a high-tech manufacturing, electronics, defense and data infrastructure zone. A 43,844 crore rupees commitment in a single day makes that message loud and clear. If executed well, today's MoUs could reshape the industrial geography of South India, shifting high-value jobs, design, talent, and next-generation tech clusters deep into the Western corridor. Please do let us know what you think in the comments below. Will this investment finally push Coimbatore into India's high-tech big league, or are we still just getting started? And of course, before we sign off on this story, and a very inspiring one, a quick reminder of something Nara Lokesh said just last week. When states compete, India progresses, end quote. Looking at what's happening across Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, the southern part of India is winning that race. And you know what? India is benefiting. Recently, India stunned the world by building its first quantum diamond microscope, joining an elite club of just 3 nations. Tonight, the story gets bigger. India has officially entered the global quantum race, not as an observer, but as a contender aiming to lead. This is Front Page by AIM Network. Like, share, subscribe, and keep watching, because the next breakthrough won't announce itself. It'll just land right here on Front Page. Today, Union Science Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh announced something India has never attempted before. 720 crore rupees quantum fabrication and central facilities under the National Quantum Mission to be built at IIT Bombay. With IISc and national labs joining as anchor partners, this is the foundation of India's first generation of quantum materials, quantum processors, quantum sensors, quantum communication, hardware, and indigenous mid-scale quantum fab capabilities. For decades, India depended on foreign labs for fabrication, materials, cryogenic systems, and measurement equipment. That era is ending. This is India saying, quantum hardware, we will build it here. End quote. The ecosystem is quite real. Dr. Singh is not exaggerating. The ecosystem has already started forming. Startups already scaling globally. QNU Labs, quantum safe communication, encryption hardware, QPI AI, quantum stack, AI accelerated optimizers, quantum research clusters across IITs, IISc, IUCAA, TIFR and Raman Research Institute. So more than 50 plus active quantum projects are already underway across India. Quantum materials, quantum networking, quantum sensing, QKD, photonics, quantum algorithms, post-quantum cryptography. And for the first time, India is building a full stack quantum chain, from materials to devices, to cryo, to control, to sensing, to algorithms, to applications. For years, India missed early waves: supercomputing, semiconductors, photonics, advanced materials. Quantum is the first time India has said, we won't lose this decade. The 720 crore rupees facility is infrastructure. Shared clean rooms, fabrication lines, deposition systems, ion implantation, nano fabrication, ultra low noise test beds. This is the kind of base Germany, Japan, and the United States built 20 years ago. India is building it now, and this is the good part, with the 2025 technology. This is how you get quantum accelerators, quantum imaging devices, quantum sensors, and eventually quantum processors. So if you think this is theoretical, let me remind you what IIT Bombay did just days ago. India became the fourth nation in the world to build an indigenous quantum diamond microscope, a room temperature quantum coherent imaging system, a device that maps 3D magnetic fields in chips, sees inside AI accelerators, diagnoses multi-layer defects, analyzes brain tissues, decodes battery degradation, studies superconducting materials without cutting them open. QDM is the first proof that India can build frontier class quantum hardware, and 720 crore rupees facility is the beginning of scaling such achievements. Dr. Jitendra Singh's message is very clear. The next decade will belong to nations that lead in quantum. India wants to be among the top 3. The roadmap is already visible. National Quantum Mission, 720 crore rupees. Quantum Fabrication Facility, IIT Bombay's QDM breakthrough, IISc Cryo Plus Materials Clusters, a quantum-safe communication pilot on BharatNet, India's first quantum communication link, which is Delhi to Agra. QNU Labs powering DRDO's quantum encryption, QPI AI, building quantum stack layers in Bengaluru. So add this all up, and the story shifts from India just catching up to India shaping what the quantum future looks like. And here, as always, is the front page take. India used to be a spectator in frontier technologies. Quantum might be the first field where the country does not follow. It competes. IIT Bombay's QDM proved India can build cutting-edge quantum instrumentation. The 720 crore rupees quantum fab facility proves India is now scaling the ambition. The question is no longer, can India do quantum? It is, how fast can India build the world's next quantum leaders? Please do let us know what you think in the comments below and how proud this new development makes you feel. Well, that's it for today. This is Front Page by AIM Network. Always remember, think AI, think AIM. We have a special guest with us. He, along with his co-founder Isha Manideep, is building the next generation of customer support, real-time AI agents that can understand emotions, resolve issues instantly, and scale across the world's largest enterprises. From DoorDash to global financial giants, Giga's agents are already replacing outsourced call centers with autonomous, multilingual, emotionally intelligent systems that handle millions of interactions each month. Joining us today, Varun Vummadi of Giga, the 25-year-old IIT Kharagpur graduate who just raised $61 million from Red Point Ventures, Y Combinator, and Nexus Venture Partners to redefine what customer support sounds like in the AI era. Varun, a big welcome to Front Page. Hope you're doing wonderfully well and great to have you with us.
Thanks a lot for having me. I'm doing great.
Good, yes, you're looking good as well. All right, so let's start this off, because you know what, Varun, it's actually quite baffling, and many, of course, are quite baffled by this, that you and your co-founder are among the youngest founders leading a global AI movement. You're fresh out of IIT Kharagpur when you founded Giga, no prior startup, no corporate stint. So the first question is, how did two 24-year-olds convince DoorDash, Red Point, and Y Combinator that they could build enterprise grade AI from scratch? Let's start there, and then we will get deeper into the journey.
Of course, it did not all happen at once. It took us like 2 years. Honestly, like the truth is, based on our earlier achievements, Y Combinator just took a bet on us and wanted us to build something with AI based on our past experience. And then we had to like prove ourselves a lot to get a customer like DoorDash and to get a investor like Redpoint to invest $60 million in us. So all of this thing happened did not happen together at a very small timeline is what I'm saying. It took its own time. Why it took our own bet. Then we're going through this pivot hell for a lot of time where we don't know what we're doing, and then we landed on this idea, and this is like a series of events which took time to happen. Where we
Varun, of course, congratulations on the fact that it's a wonderful start to a life journey and a long one ahead for both you and Aisha. But you just mentioned very briefly in terms of your earlier achievements. I would like for you to maybe just highlight those earlier achievements for us and the viewers watching so that we all have context.
Yeah, of course. My co-founder, my co-founder, Aisha, graduated third from entire IIT Kharagpur. And we both had like significant job offers, which are considered like top in both India and US in terms of pay salaries. And we both had also offers to join a lot of Ivy Leagues for both masters and PhD. We denied all of those things to pursue our passion to start like some hard problems in machine learning. And yeah, those are like on a high level what our achievements are.
Wonderful. Wonderfully said. All right. So I need to, of course, ask you this as a follow-up to the beginning of the journey. So was there we are onto something real moment very early on that you were able to, let's say, let go of all the offers, deny them, even the Ivy League aspects, and you believed in the passion, as you mentioned, and you started as an AI infrastructure company, then pivoted from building for developers to building for customers, Varun?
To be honest, I wish I had like insight from day one. It was never the scenario, to be honest. I just wanted to do hard challenges that have been to be honest, my entire career. IIT was one of those things that's why I pursued. Even during IIT, my co-founder we had like very different backgrounds. He was top of the class from day one. And I did not study that well in to be honest, in my first 2 years. I picked up a lot last 2 years, just wanted to like prove myself out or like basically how best of a job I can get or something like that. At the final year, we just thought if you want to make a lot of influence, to be honest, there are only two career paths, which is actually at that point of time, I figured out these are the two career paths. You either do business or you either go to politics. These are like a high influence path. So I figured out, let me try out business. And to be honest, I used to admire Elon Musk a lot and Steve Jobs. And I just decided if I want to do this thing, what is the best way for me to do it? Then I came to know about Y Combinator and by reading Paul Graham essays, etc. And that's when I decided, okay, let's try to go for it. And we decided not to pursue any of these things after getting into Y Combinator. To be honest, it was not like a decision that we said that we let go of all of these things. It was definitely a risk balancing choice. It's not that we just said that we're going to do a startup and we're going to let everything go. And even after getting into Y Combinator, it was not, we were like struggling for a lot of time as a company, to be honest. We were like trying out ideas. Everything is getting some traction. None of it was like truly taking off. But we saw real PMF, basically saw a very strong traction when a company like DoorDash and some other massive financial public companies using us and them coming to us and saying that Giga is amazing, this metrics look awesome, and we love working with you guys. That's when I saw the real pull, and that's when I felt like that it was taking off. And why did we pivot and what triggered the pivot? That's also a great question. Others mentioning, we were really good at fine-tuning open source models. That is where we started. We were one of the early peoples to do fine-tune. If you're familiar with Llama models by any chance, by Meta, we increased the context length from 4K to 32K for Llama model by we did a lot of research around how to increase context length, etc., etc. But what we have figured out is, as OpenAI keeps making models cheaper and faster, it's reason for you to fine tune a model other than if you just don't want to use closed source models, and if you only want to use open source, something like healthcare or defense, where you just don't want your data to go to OpenAI. That's the only use case which was there. So there was not a real market, to be honest. And what we have been seeing on the market was people were using our fine-tuned models for primarily two use cases, which is support and coding. So we thought support was a real market because people were trying to fine-tune models for support. So that's when we started and doubled down more. That is how it happened. It's a market pull, like you mentioned. Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, I like the fact that there was this early realization that two fields tend to have a lot of influence, politics and business. And well, you chose business. Varun, well done. And the fact that everything is a challenge to you. But talking about politics, it's interesting that how Nara Lokesh has been waxing eloquent as far as, you as founders are concerned. He is obviously also encouraging a lot of the Indian ecosystem to take probably a page out of your book. So first and foremost, how do you feel about something like that coming your way from Nara Lokesh? And there was a very interesting comment during one of our shows which we were doing on the investments in Andhra Pradesh, where a viewer had mentioned that Nara Lokesh is the Gen Z version of Chandrababu Naidu. So first, I'd like your immediate reactions on that. And of course, what do you feel in terms of what does it do for your motivation?
To be honest, I'm not that into politics, so I just don't know. But I haven't been following anything closely. I just saw the tweet as well, to be honest. That's my first time seeing anything. But I think it's pretty amazing to see any leader encouraging us to basically take bold choices and to start like more and more companies. I think it's amazing for leaders to recognize and fundamentally understand the impact that startups can have and asking and promoting them out. That's the extent of it, I know, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, Varun. But do you feel he's the Gen Z version of Chandrababu Naidu?
I literally graduated. I mean, I was studying in Vijayawada until like 16, and I was heads down in IIT, so I just don't know much. And I then went to IIT Kharagpur.
Fair enough.
I just do this. To be honest, I just don't know like what's the current chief minister and what are they doing to me to answer like the question. Yeah.
No, fair enough, Varun. You're keeping your head down and, of course, raising $61 million, which, of course, brings me to the next one, which is the agentic shift. Giga's product philosophy is quite clear, Varun. Don't automate scripts, build agents that think. So how do you define agentic AI in customer support? And what can Giga's agents do that traditional chatbots or RPA couldn't?
Hey, I can't hear Sudhi.
Varun, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Let me repeat that question for you. The point is, Giga's product philosophy is quite clear. So don't automate scripts, build agents that think. So how do you define agentic AI in customer support first, Varun? And then what can Giga's agents do that traditional chatbots or RPA couldn't?
Yeah, it's the first starting point today is when you I think every one of us has been on hold and everyone has been like stuck with this endless loop of IVRs where you just need pressing buttons. Generally, the deflection rates are roughly around 10 to 15%, and people just get frustrated and everything. Compared to us, which is closer to 70%, and CSATs are significantly higher, people can just get their issues resolved. It's like chatting with a human being on the other side. Howard, you just want to get your issues resolved as fast as possible. Every company wants to do it. But with traditional IVRs, we all know how frustrating is it. You go and press the number. The even more frustrating part is they thought that was an advanced version of IVR where you have to say things and it doesn't understand it. Now you don't even know what to do. I mean, it might ask you to repeat a number due to accident or whatever it is. It might not be able to understand it. And it just goes to this loophole of you trying to do 5 minutes, 10 minutes trying to navigate it. And all of those things have gone away. And hold times are this is an interesting stat. Apparently, like 46 days of every humans they spend on hold on support.
Wow.
Which is and I mean, all of us hate hold time, and so that's one thing which goes away, which is a great thing. But the other thing is the resolution times are much faster, and instead of 10 minutes, everything we have seen roughly around 70% of reduction in resolution times across all a lot of massive deployments, and experience has been also like significantly better. If you think of it, especially this is true a lot in call support more than chat support. If you enter hold times and if you are able to say that's it, is like a great experience. Yeah,
true. So thank you so much, Varun and Aisha, that you have given humanity collectively their 30 days back. Trust me, it's a big achievement. Of course, which I want to go a little deeper on this. So when we look at enterprises moving from human-led service desks to software-driven conversations, Varun, what's the biggest technical unlock that made this shift possible? Was it latency, RAG, contextual memory, voice synthesis? What really changed?
The biggest thing that changed is just like, to be honest, it's just launch of like ChatGPT and generative AI models, which can, I mean, you can, it's not just on support. A lot of things, instead of chatting with a person, you can just ask it. It's basically the conversational nature is like the core thing change, which is like the magical thing, and everything else is on like top of it. As you know, we all faced the ChatGPT moment when we first interacted. You can basically have it as like a peer or like buddy beside you who you can trust to resolve the issues. That is like core unlock where happened, and a lot of unlocks happened on top of it.
Okay. Fair. That gives us an interesting insight. The system behind the voice, which brings me logically to that point then, Varun. One of the hardest problems in enterprise AI is context, as we've all suffered because of the lack of it. How does Giga's retrieval augmented generation, which is RAG, and long-term memory design ensure that every response feels human, as you mentioned, accurate, and most importantly, emotionally aware? You've mentioned understanding customer voice with nuance. That is what you said, unquote. So how do you technically teach AI to detect frustration, urgency, or trust in a voice call and respond in a way that de-escalates, Varun, and not inflame?
Yeah, this is a great question, actually. The way you do it is, as I mentioned, we're fine-tuning LLMs before this thing. We just take transcripts of your best support agents who have actually already done these de-escalations, who have already done it. And we use those transcripts to fine-tune a model specific for the customer. So the LLM already knows how to, basically it's basically inheriting the knowledge from the existing people who have done it to do de-escalation and everything. Based on the emotional aware, for while we are running speech to text in parallel, we run an algorithm to detect a pitch. Based on the pitch, we detect like the emotion, if the angry, frustrated, etc. If we feel the customer frustrated, we would basically trigger a thing which says that on an apologetic tone, hey, can you just calm down? Hey, I'm so sorry. And calms the customer down before going to the issue. This is how we do these things. Yeah, we got a lot of advantage in this thing. Just because of our prior experience with fine tuning.
Fascinating, honestly fascinating, Varun. You've cracked a big problem. The DoorDash example, of course, because everyone is obviously talking about that. It's a huge achievement as far as the partnership is concerned. So was it a real stress test? Tens of millions of orders, real-time routing, refunds, fraud detection. I would love for you to walk us all through what it took to deploy an AI agent in a system, and this is a very interesting number, 10 billion lifetime orders, and actually improve resolution times.
Yeah, it has been pretty challenging because at DoorDash's scale, we saw like a lot of complex issues and everything coming through our way. One of a very interesting things, the multi-party coordination, where we need to chat with the dasher. I don't know if you're familiar with the concept. Dasher is basically the person who delivers the order for you. Zomato delivery driver or like Zepto person. And the other person is the customer. This is one of the issues that happens a lot of times, which is very unique, and we saw with like a DoorDash as a customer, which is let's say if you ordered food when you are at home and you just went to office, and now you just ask like the dasher, say, hey, I'm at my office, can you just deliver it to me? If it's generally on the way, a lot of the people are nice people. It happens to us a lot of it. They just deliver it there, but they won't be able to mark the order delivered in their app because they're outside the geofence, because it triggers the fraud system. Now what happens right now is the dasher calls the support, which is our AI agent. Our AI agent asks Dasher, hey, what's happening? And the Dasher says that, hey, I'm not able to mark the order delivered, but the customer asked me to deliver it to a different address. While the Dasher call, we check the chat history first. If we see that have you actually requested the address change on the chat? If not, while the Dasher is on the call, we make a parallel call to the customer. Right now, there are like 2 calls. And we ask the customer, hey, so did you actually request a new address? And if you say yes, then we go back and communicate that with the Dasher and mark the order as delivered. If you say no, I'm not able to find it, then we go back to the Dasher and mark, he's not able to find it. Can you tell me where it is?
That is complex.
This cannot be done right now. If you want to do it right now, you need to place somebody on hold and go back and do it.
True.
Meanwhile, the Dashers can get resolved other issues while I'm chatting with the customer. So yeah. These are some of the stress tests which we have been done, which are like a pretty complex use cases, where the advantage of solving the hardest and complex use cases is companies keep giving you more and more harder and complex use cases. That means that your product will keep getting better and better significantly faster. That's the biggest advantage I've seen.
Before, of course, Varun, I need to move on to the motivation and what it did as far as both you and Aisha were concerned, as far as mentally when you cracked this issue. Tell me this, was something like this as a use case impressive enough for DoorDash to start to partner, or what was that little magic moment that got them very excited? Would be nice for us to get context.
Why did they were piloting pilot.
That's why I'm asking. Yeah, if you could elaborate a little bit on that, would be interesting.
It's just this is one of the things. The big thing for Giga is time to value is super low. You can go in live in less than 2 weeks. You don't need to build these policies. These are the 2 big issues that the company is in general. One is a lot of this knowledge is on customer support people head, which is not properly documented or written. The way our AI agents you can build policies for our AI agents is you can upload all of your transcripts of your human support agents. At the same time, all daily written policies you have. We go through all of them and we suggest you that there will be a lot of mismatches. A lot of times humans just don't follow the policies. We show you these are the things which we see are mismatches. Can you correct them? You can just go and correct them in a day or 2. Then we start this process where you can just start testing the agent. And once you start testing the agent, you can go live on 1% of the calls and you can see the metrics and you can go back and iterate. And once everything is done, you can start scaling up. This is the entire process on how the deployment works like. And we do it in less than 2 weeks.
Nice.
The primary reason is because of our product capability to do the transcript and everything and converting into AI agent policies. And the other thing is, as you know, AIs keep getting significantly better at writing code.
True.
And from day one, we have been on the hypothesis that the majority of the integrations on the platform will be written by AI. We have this product called Atlas on our platform where you can just copy paste your API docs and it will write all the integrations for you.
Nice.
It's basically like a cursor inside our platform. So combined with all those things, it makes them very, very easier to go live, and it's very easy and a very obvious choice to test out. And that's one thing. The another most important thing, this is even more crucial, which is whenever you deploy an agentic system, it needs to affect a business KPI. I mean, for support, resolution rate or CSAT. For, let's say, for compliance, it can be like how many actually like fraud cases you are flagging. Every system, if it makes only sense if you're able to affect like a business KPI.
Sure.
And no matter what resolution rate you start, let's say you're at 40% or 30%, based on your policies or like the transcripts, you might not have APIs as well. to build for all to solve all these issues. We tell you exact things that you need to do to reach to 98% resolution rate. We tell you these are the
Nice.
things that you need to do, and which makes it easier for companies to like basically have a predictable path on how they can reach to their ideal stage that they want to go. The iterative improvement, the self-improving part is very, very important, because you're dealing with a lot of volume here, to be honest. Even
Yeah.
a couple of percent is millions of dollars in savings. So the iterative thing makes it very, very important. And yeah, these are the primary reasons, if I want to just boil down, why Giga not competitors.
Brilliantly put, because Varun, that just gives us so much clarity on the fact that at the core of it all, you as founders understand that finally, for a customer, it boils down to what is the kind of efficiencies that you're bringing in, as you mentioned. And of course, it always boils down to the fact that show me the money. So of course, how does that success in a client like DoorDash change your roadmap now, Varun? Do you now see Giga as a vertical AI company for support, or just as a broader platform for enterprise reasoning systems?
Yeah, again, this is one more great question, because what happens in this generally with enterprise customers is it's just not just DoorDash, it's some other financial services, massive Fortune 500 financial companies that we work with. Once you go live and start like delivering like real results, they start showing all of their problems to you. They will just say, "This is one of my problems. Can you solve it?" I got like 10 to 20 requests from them. "Hey, you might be able to solve this. Can you solve this? Can you solve this?" Which intentionally, and you going and solving harder and harder problems, as I was mentioning earlier, it just makes your product better. And people just trust you more, and they just keep opening like more and more problems to you.
Sure.
That can help you make your basically a horizontal and like a broader play to automate any operation task in these massive companies. Yeah.
Which is very encouraging because, I mean, sorry, yes.
Yeah, it's basically like performing well in this one task, and everybody tries to give you more tasks because they just trust you. Yeah.
No, and honestly, Varun, if you ask me, that's a very positive outlook, and it's a very forward-looking kind of a vision, because it's something which is only going to keep helping you and your product, and consequently also assisting all your customers as you keep moving along, which makes it much more smoother as you keep going on to this journey. The business model. Customer support is one of the largest outsourced industries, Varun. $350 billion globally. So it seems like pretty much that you guys are attacking an entire market structure and not just building a product, as you just mentioned. So what's the real pitch to enterprise? And is it cost reduction? Is it consistency or capability? Or as you have gone along in your journey till now, you've added more customers. Have any of those aspects changed, and have you added more things to your entire bouquet?
To be honest, all of them. That's the magical generative AI. It's not one thing. All the three things we can mention can be significantly better. It's not just better. Can get like a step function change. All of them will be super better. But the most important part that I personally care about is, as I keep repeating, I hate hold times, and I want to just deliver customer experiences reliably at scale. Consistent customer experience for all the customers, no matter when you call. That's the biggest.
You said it a few times. Varun. I want to understand, did you go through an experience personally which completely horrified you regarding the hold time?
When I moved to US, it happened a lot of times in India. This is one of the recent things. I think it happened with my ICICI bank. I think I was in a lot of hold time. And the other thing was, when I moved to US, I remember calling their IRS for something. The whole time was 6 hours.
Wow.
It's just not for me. It has happened for one of more of my friends. So yeah. So then it's not one incident, to be honest. That's like a very step function incident. It happens almost a lot of times.
On a regular basis.
10 minutes. But this is one of those things. It's not like I can hang up on it.
Yeah, true. And I'm pretty sure that comes from a very personal place. And thank you so much that it does, because you're helping humanity at large. So how do you price AI agents, Varun, compared to, let's say, human teams? And how do clients measure ROI beyond call deflection? Very important.
No, again, this is the great question because you brought this point called deflection rate, and we price it per resolution. That is how we price it. And I personally think this is one metric. A lot of people get it wrong. Deflection rate is a very wrong metric to optimize for. I'm going to say why as well. A lot of customers just abandon the call. As I was just mentioning to you, if I'm in hold for a minute, I would just like hang it up. People would call that as a deflected, but it's a really bad thing. I would not use the product. I'm basically have a bad experience with the company. That's not the thing that you need to optimize for. The thing you need to optimize for is the resolution rate. Can you actually truly solve the customer issue and without like a negative sentiment, which should be most probably like a positive or at least a neutral sentiment? Can you actually do this? The metrics you need to optimize for are resolution rate and CSAT. And a lot of people miss this metric called abandon rate, where we term for them, we just call them soft sufferers. They just don't want to deal with this thing. They just don't want to deal with VR and just drop off. But yeah, so we want companies to have higher resolution rate, not deflection rate. And we want them to have great CSAT. And the pricing model is per resolution. That is how we price, not deflection.
Okay. Fair point. Because yes, you're trying to give a much more positive experience to the customer. And finally, I believe every organization is working towards that end goal. The competition and edge, you've mentioned this earlier as well, that you are ahead of the curve. Gary Tan said Giga beat every player, including Sierra and Decagon, to win DoorDash. So what's that one design principle that gives you that edge, Varun? Is it speed, product simplicity, or technical purity?
It's a mix of all of those things, but like as I was mentioning, the two main things are time to value and iterative improvements. But we are always better. I have seen these evaluations against us were competitors. We won almost in every single metric that they are compared against, like voice experience, interrupts, etc. We are at least as good or significantly better on almost all the metrics. But the core metrics, which are important, are like, as I was saying, we fine-tune models specifically for voice. The time to value very low, and we have iterative improvements. Time to speed and iterative improvements are the major things. And I know, but I don't want to repeat a lot of other small differentiators, but our experience and latency is also low, and our voice experience is also significantly better compared to competitors. The way even we do our RAG is also different to reduce the latency. Yeah.
No, there's no harm in repeating it again and again, Varun. If you guys have worked so hard to make sure that you're edging out the competition, you need to be proud of it. So as Agentic AI becomes the new startup gold rush, Varun, from Unify Apps to Mem0 and in India as well, there are tons of Agentic AI startups which are being developed by seasoned veterans like, let's say, the founder of Myntra and Cult, Mukesh Bansal, and HubSpot co-founder and CTO, Dharmesh Shah. So how do you see Giga staying differentiated? One, and is your moat in infrastructure, data, or voice experience?
Yeah, it's a little bit across data and voice experience. But in general, the great point of moats is truly even OpenAI doesn't have a moat right now other than like just keep building great products more and more, which is basically becoming obvious in AI. If you think of it, none of these companies are like network effect businesses. It is a very traditional SaaS mode that you get, which is just you become stickier with inside these companies with integration and everything. That's the classic mode all the SaaS companies have. The thing with Giga right now, which makes it keep winning, is keep repeating it. We have a great product. We have like insanely good product by a margin, significantly compared to anyone in the market. And we just keep shipping great product. And we inherently inherit all the modes of every SaaS that has, which is stickiness, integrations, and iterative improvement. That's also one great mode to become a little bit more stickier. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Which brings me to this then. The India advantage, Varun. You're based in Silicon Valley, but let's face it, your roots are Indian, IIT graduates, early tech, DNA, engineering, first culture. So the first point or the first question that I would like to ask you on this is how much of that Indian engineering mindset influences how you build at Giga, and as Indian enterprises adopt Gen AI faster than ever, from BFSI to retail, do you see yourself, Varun, bringing Giga's agents to India very soon?
Yeah, two different questions. Let me answer each one of them individually. Indian engineering mindset. To be honest,
Yes.
pretty much everything we learned is on IIT Kharagpur and India. To be honest, we haven't worked that much in US,
Right.
so pretty much everything is inherited from our experience, and we have learned a little bit here by like chatting with more people, and of course, we have thing. But yeah, a lot of things is it's just amazing set of people, especially in IITs, to be around with. And it's just not there. It's actually helping us a lot in Bay Area as well. You'd be surprised the amount of people who are from IITs who are helping us, helping us in like multiple aspects. That's one thing. Regarding engineering, a lot of things has been learned, and we just keep learning more and more. But definitely the roots are there. And at the end, regarding the Indian enterprise adoption of Gen AI, I think that the adoption will go significantly up as LLMs get cheaper and cheaper. To be honest, an Indian call center agent for voice especially for voice is more expensive than using an AI. So in voice, I can totally see adopting AI, but in chat, it's sometimes closer. It's using an Indian call center agent or a chatbot is sometimes closer, but for some use cases, definitely cheaper. So the thing is, India will definitely adopt a lot of AI as models get cheaper and cheaper. I think there will be a lot of adoption. As you just clearly on your earlier question, cost savings is definitely less in India compared to other markets where human labor is higher. That's pretty much it. But yeah, we are pretty excited to. We are actually doing like a big office in Bangalore. So we're pretty excited to start. Yeah.
Wonderful. And what kind of talent are you looking at? May I ask, Varun, as far as Bangalore is concerned?
We are hiring people with our similar profiles, to be honest, and we're trying to attract the very spiky and obviously we're looking for somebody who has done something exceptional to bring to our team, mostly on engineering side.
Nice. Which brings me to this, the human aspect of it, because I mean, we've have had quite a deep dive, Varun, as far as, you know, making it more human. The fact that you've been able to reduce that entire hold time by almost 70%, which is where we all thanked you for saving us a month. You, of course, have gone through a horrid experience yourself. But what is the biggest challenge? You're building AI that talks and maybe listens better than we do. So what's the hardest part that makes machines emotionally intelligent without actually crossing into that very uncanny territory? And in a world where AI handles, well, 90% of customer conversations, what remains uniquely human in communication? What's the heartbeat of that?
I don't have like a great answer for this, to be honest. I keep thinking about it a lot. And I do think that human communications will always be amazing, and they just keep saying, see, I think that if you have like thousands of 10,000 call center agents and all of them are able to answer your customer support calls, you should absolutely do it. It's a better experience. People would still prefer the human touch. But what is happening is people are having like 1,000 agents when you require 10,000 people. That's where that AI is actually truly coming in. It's not
very
the other
interesting
way. If you're actually able to have it, at least as of now, my hypothesis, humans are still significantly better. It's more like operation stacking problems, to be honest. It's like you need like 10,000 people, but you still have 1,000 people. Now you got to figure out a way. That's when AI truly comes in. And this problem is very clear in customer support, where there are like a lot of spikes of volumes.
Interesting. As far as the overall understanding goes, looking forward, as you just mentioned, do you feel that will get, you just said that humans are better, but do you feel that with the way things are advancing, that will probably at some level or the other reach a point where you feel that maybe the mechanization aspect will take over?
Yes, I do feel that, to be honest. But yeah, I keep thinking about it. I just don't have like a solid answer, but I definitely think that AI will be definitely better on humans in like multiple aspects, at least like majority of the humans in multiple aspects across. It's just not around support. I think it would be across like a multiple where you hire like a lot of people to do things, even for like software engineering. A lot of those things, AI will be like better. I'm actually already seeing this a little bit where engineers are able to do 2x and 3x of their work with AI. What does that mean is you don't need a junior engineer. So a lot of those things, yeah.
Okay. Varun, I mean, I have to obviously say this again, and as many times as I would say it, it would be not enough, which is the fact that kudos to both you and Asia for achieving what you have. But it brings me to this thought, which is that on founder identity, there's been a lot of social media noise. There's been a lot of backlash. There's been a very strange trend online where, what people reduce founders to in terms of the fact that how are they achieving their overall goals. They get judgmental about things which really honestly do not require any attention. So you've seen both appreciation and unnecessary commentary. How do you process that noise? Point one. And what would you like to say to young founders who feel judged for everything except their work?
Yeah, of course. To be honest, this was the first time even I faced that much of amount of hatred or racism against us on these platforms. To be honest, this was the first time. And a lot of people reached out to me in a very positive way. The thing is, it's just there is only one thing that matters, that we got to truly win and everything else goes away. I think that's the philosophy I've taken. You just ignore the entire noise and you just keep winning and again. And if you have actually made any true mistakes and which are from those things, you should just correct them. I think that's the approach that we have taken. I think that's the approach. I mean, it's very common for a lot of us to do it in like a very small scale where a bunch of us are doing it. But yeah, I think it's just ultimately the only thing which matters is you winning and building a massive company. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything else goes away. You just ignore it and you just keep building and keep winning.
As a follow-up to that, I'd like to ask you this, Varun. You had mentioned earlier that, you had great offers, both you and Asia, in terms of the Ivy Leagues. You had great offers as far as companies were concerned. Great way to actually kickstart life, right? But you guys took the harder road. So I'd like to ask you this. What's that one thing that you would like to wish students understood about taking a calculated risk like you both did early in their careers? What would you like to say to them?
Pick a very ambitious goal and try to get it as much close to it as possible. Almost always, even the failure point will be way higher than your success point. It's just like if you're aiming for like a 10 lakh job or something like that, what does it take to get a 1.5 crore job? Why can't I get that? And just list out all the things that you don't have and work on them. That makes you land at least a 70 lakh job or whatever it is. That one thing, that philosophy has actually worked on my life a lot. And I don't know, I think that's one thing, just being significantly more ambitious where it's super uncomfortable helps a lot because it makes it a lot clearer. So it's just, let's say if you're getting 10 lakhs, if you want to get 1.5 crore in India, there are not much options. There are only a couple of high frequency trading firms will pay you that much money. Now you go back and figure out how to get into those things because they take a look at math, they take a look at these things and they look at code forces, etc. You get good at them and you apply to them. Yeah, if you don't get it, at least you'll get Google. Yeah.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said, Varun. And of course, I must say that the secret sauce behind all of that, you said it so easily, but when you did it, I'm pretty sure that's one thing that's been very strong in you and will forever remain that way is grit, is not giving up. Because a lot of people tend to go through that as well. On advisors and board strengthening, Varun, you now actually have two Snowflake heavyweights, Chris Degnan on sales and Lars Christensen on demand gen, guiding Giga. So most early stage startups, as we know, don't really get this kind of access to this level of go-to-market talent. So what does it signal about the kind of company you're trying to build, point one? And how do you balance absorbing their world-class playbooks while still staying true to your own founder instincts?
Of course, this is that one more thing. To be honest, like the second point you actually told, I'm still figuring it out how to do it.
Okay.
The first point is, to be honest, we have the best product in the market. We know it because companies like DoorDash are very meritocratic. They just won't pick a bad product. And the only reason that Giga would not win is by having a bad distribution or like losing in go to market to the companies with mediocre products. That's the reason we are super excited to have Chris Degnan, who has actually built a world-class sales org with Snowflake to us. How do you make sure it's not gone? To be honest, we both are engineers and product people. We don't know sales fundamentally. We just pitch the product, let product do the job. And I think we're always that people. We'll always stay to the core. At the same time, we're trying to build a sales model in the company that will make sure that we don't just lose to mediocre products because people just don't know about us. People don't even know that we exist. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think we as a people would change. I don't think I would become like an amazing sales guy anytime in the future. I'm just an engineer and I just talk product.
But you do the most important thing, I must add, which is to make sure that that heart keeps beating wonderfully well, which is always the product. Anyway, finally, the $100 billion thesis, Varun. If Giga proves its thesis, it could actually easily become a $100 billion plus company within a few years. So what are you really collapsing isn't just customer support, it's actually the entire operations. Engineering loop that actually slows enterprises down. Today, as we have discussed it at length, operation teams describe problems which engineers interpret, then build, review, and repeat. Weeks of friction, endless back and forth. But in your model, as I guess pretty much our viewers are also aware by now, an operations lead just talks to Giga. The AI instantly builds version 1, iterates it in minutes, and ships live. So the question is, are you very quietly building the foundation for AI native enterprise operations, Varun, where teams don't just automate tasks, but build and ship software through conversation? And if that's true, how far are we from seeing Giga-powered companies that run end-to-end without traditional developer bottlenecks?
Yeah, the core idea is, as I was mentioning, if you just keep solving harder and harder problems and doing a great job, enterprises just keep coming up with more and more of their problems. That is automatically making the product more horizontal. We just want to build a platform where companies can, any massive company with a lot of people will have policies on how they should do their jobs. Companies can write their policies out and can iteratively improve on those policies. And the question which you have asked is a great thing. We want to make sure that the companies, how these companies are rebuilt, if they are basically building the company from scratch right now with AI, and how would how would all the departments and everything there. We're trying to build a product which makes where like the next $1 trillion companies get built. Their entire ops should like run on top of Giga. That's one thing. How far are we are seeing that entirely Giga powered companies? Question, because it all ties to this one thing. If you do a great job, I'm actually chatting with a couple of Fortune 500 CEOs on this. We are having like execution opportunities across multiple ops verticals where there is a significant financial spend and there's a significant opportunity to automate and make it better. We're a couple of years away, I would say like 2 years away, where we take over like significant ops things in these massive companies. Yeah.
Wonderful. It's been truly brilliant speaking with you, Varun. I must say that it's, for me, the takeaway has been that it's been so simplistic. Your journey has been just about not complicating life, understanding a problem, sorting it out, and moving on and on and on, and always being open and embracing challenges and trying to challenge yourself while you've been at it. Of course, from Front Page and the entire team here at Front Page, we all wish you and Asia a very, very great journey ahead. All the luck to the both of you. And the fact that that little dream that you're wondering about in terms of becoming a $100 billion plus company, I don't see it from your voice and the way you're going about it, that it is going to be too distant a dream. Thank you so much for being on Front Page.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me.
All right. Well, when two co-founders who've been, of course, 25-year-olds from, well, Kharagpur raised $61 million for an AI voice agent that beats the best, trust me, it's not just luck. It's actually a signal that the AI revolution isn't coming from corner offices or ex-Googlers anymore. It's actually coming from dorm rooms, data labs, and every young Indian who dares to build the future. This is Giga's moment, and we should all get up and applaud that. And maybe applaud even louder, because it's India's too.